Hi everyone, welcome to my new video. So it's a lesson 4 of Java series. So let's start. So lesson 4, we're gonna talk about variables. So what are variables? So variables are nothing. It just it's just the containers that store data in memory. Okay. So suppose we have a class, maybe let's call it main, and inside that we have public static void main, like we used to have. Inside this, when we create something like int a equal to 10. So this is a variable. Okay. So variable has three part. One is data type. One is this variable name, and one is value to that variable. So this is variable. Okay. So there are three types of variable we have in Java. So three types are: one is local variable, second one is instance variable, and third one is static variables. So let's gonna discuss about these. So what are local variables? So local variables are the variables that are defined in a block or a method, and it's local to that method. What does that mean? Suppose you have a method. Let's say you have a method called test. Inside this method, you created a variable called say a equal to 10, and then you're gonna print this via system.out.println a. So what is this? So for this method, this variable a it's a local variable because its scope is limited inside this method. Okay, but when we have class, suppose test, and inside this class we have int a, int b, and then suppose we have constructor of this class, and now uh, suppose now suppose in this we have public static void main, and we create an object of it. Then how do we gonna access these variables is t dot a, like that. So these are instance variable. So you create an instance of a particular class. So you create an instance of a particular class, and then you try to access the variable. Okay, and it's not t dot a, it should be t dot get a. So we will create a getter and setter of these methods, these variables, sorry. So these are instance variables. So when you have a variable defined inside a class, those are called instance variable because those gonna you can get those variables by creating a object of those class. Okay, but local variable is kind of you created a method, and inside that method only the reference is inside that method only, not outside of it. Okay, so uh, if inside the test we would have like public print method. So what it could be like, it will say print A, print B, and suppose it creates another variable inside it, int C equal to 10. And now you say print C. So this C variable is present only inside this scope, inside print method. It won't be inside this instance because class test के अंदर C नहीं है. Okay, इस class test का एक method है, उसके अंदर C है. So for this method that we've created print, so this C is a local variable for this method, and these A and B are the instance variable क्योंकि ये एक class के अंदर है. Okay, so that's the difference between an instance variable and a local variable. And also these instance variable, these gonna created when the object of class is created. So when we create the object of this class, so these variables also get created. Okay, and these gonna destroyed when garbage collector picks up दिस इंस्टेंस. जब गार्बेज कलेक्टर के पास ये इंस्टेंस जाएगा तब उस टाइम पे ये वेरिएबल्स भी डिस्ट्रॉय हो जाएंगे, इंस्टेंस वेरिएबल. बट जो ये तुम्हारे लोकल वेरिएबल्स होते हैं ये तब होते हैं जब प्रिंट मेथड इन्वोक होता है. एट दैट टाइम ये स्टैक में क्रिएट होते हैं और जैसे ही वो मेथड की एग्जीक्यूशन खत्म हो जाती है वो साथ ही डिस्ट्रॉय हो जाते हैं. ओके, एंड दीज इंस्टेंस वेरिएबल्स ये इनिशियलाइज कब होते हैं? कंस्ट्रक्टर के टाइम पे. व्हेन वी क्रिएट अ कंस्ट्रक्टर ऑफ दिस टेस्ट क्लास then we need to then we need to initialize these variables as well. Okay, बट जो ये लोकल वेरिएबल्स होते हैं इनको स्टार्टिंग में ही इनिशियलाइज करना पड़ता है. ठीक है, और जो ये होते हैं अगर तुम इनको इनिशियलाइज नहीं भी करते हो तो ये बाय डिफॉल्ट डिफॉल्ट वैल्यूज के साथ इनिशियलाइज हो जाते हैं. बट लोकल वेरिएबल्स इनिशियलाइज नहीं होते हैं ऐसे. You need to initialize them explicitly while creating a local variable. बट इंस्टेंस वेरिएबल जो होते हैं वो कंस्ट्रक्टर के थ्रू इनिशियलाइज अपने आप हो जाते हैं. अगर या तो तुम कर लो कंस्ट्रक्टर बना के, अदरवाइज वो बाय डिफॉल्ट वैल्यू के साथ इनिशियलाइज हो जाते हैं. ओके, नाउ कम्स स्टैटिक वेरिएबल्स. ओके, सो स्टैटिक वेरिएबल्स क्या होते हैं? स्टैटिक वेरिएबल्स आर डिक्लेयर्ड लाइक एन इंस्टेंस वेरिएबल ओनली. ओके, suppose you have class test here. So inside this class test you have a static variable, say uh, static int x equal to 10, and then you have a instance variable int b. Okay, and like that you have, and now you create a constructor of it. In constructor you say b equal to 20. Okay, now uh, now you have public static void main string args. You create an object of test. So as you see, these instance variables like b, it should be like t dot get b. Okay, but when it comes to instance variable can be called directly like class name test dot x. Okay, so you can call directly instance variable. So when we add static to it, it nowhere referenced like an instance, like it's for that instance only. Okay, so these so these will have the copy of this variable, this static variable. Okay, so जब आप एक इंस्टेंस बनाते हो और उस इंस्टेंस के थ्रू रेफर करते हो तो ये एक ही बार मेमोरी में इनिशियलाइज हो जाता है सबके लिए. सो अगर तुम जहां मर्जी इसको कॉल कर लो, इट्स वैल्यू गोना रिमेन सेम. ओके, and to initialize these variables, like I have initialized on the top, but if you don't want to initialize here and you want to initialize it, then you need to use static blocks. Static blocks are used to initialize these, and static blocks are nothing, it just you create a block with name static, and inside this you do everything. But you don't have to care about these static variables for now. We're going to discuss it in our next series, next lecture of this series. Okay, and the as I told, these can be accessed directly via class name like test.x, sorry. But these instance variable are only called by creating an instance and then only you can call it. But these static variables you can call directly. So these are the difference between static variables and local variables and instance variable. Okay, so guys, if you have any questions, any doubts, you can write it in comment section. And thank you for watching.